Your whole career has been leading up to this point. It's time for you to say, no more changes. This type of conundrum, if you will, could really turn this thing into a three-ring circus.
It looks okay, but it has to look great. Like,
Yes,
wow.
I know.
When I'm turning this way and I look, it's like,
What?
wow, what did he
What
do?
is it? Yeah. Drum roll, please. This whole lowrider adventure started when Victor got his hands on this classic '65 Buick Riviera.
You know, lowrider cars, I'm going back to my roots. See how it's just subtle?
Oh, wow.
And that's simple. That's just 2 things. That's not 10 things.
Not only that, but Victor had his mind set on taking it to a big show that's coming up.
I want to take this thing to Santa Maria, Cruising Nationals. That's the best car show of the year.
Once we got into it, it turns out subtle ain't easy. No surprise there.
That's the only time I see you smile, is when you tear stuff apart.
We put our ideas together, and I got to work.
I bet you if someone had never seen a Riviera before and they seen that, they would think it's factory.
Victor's been around this scene his whole life, so there's plenty of inspiration flowing. I've always dug lowriders, but there's nothing like being in the mix, you know? In the car, cruising.
Yeah, no, it gets crazy, like real crazy.
There's still a lot to do, but so far it's looking good.
Yeah, you know what, Ian? This side is done. I mean, 100%.
Front and rear are next. I got a few ideas, and I'm sure Victor has got a mind of his own. Who knows where it's going.
Ian, how you doing?
Well, it's time to do the front end, so I was just making sure all these panels were aligned before we cut them apart, you know? This Riviera has come a long way. It's been quite the journey. We're onto the front section of this thing, and I'm expecting some major changes from Victor.
I got a couple little extra parts to start on the front end, to start on the new journey.
In all the other projects, Victor is all about, you know, the face of the car. You know, the car's coming at you and it looks like this or like that. And I'm thinking, oh man, this one's gonna be a big problem compared to the sides.
Check this out. You know me in Pomona, a 1965 Riviera bar grill, baby.
Victor's always shopping, you know, parts gathering. I never know what he's gonna come through the door with.
It might fit right in. It was made to fit right in this thing. Let's see how she does. Check that out. I just saved you a week of fabrication right there. Look at that.
So it was made for this car.
It was made for this car. And that's my flavor right there.
He brings in this Grille, and that totally streamlines the whole process. I don't know where he's going next.
I had these. I bought all 4 of them. Let me show you what it's gonna look like with that and this chrome. Check that out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What I mean, see how clean the look is?
No doubt.
This here's done.
What's the catch? Where's the...
A mile custom, remember.
From my standpoint, it looks like we're gonna get through this project without making any more crazy modifications. As long as that's the look you're going for, let's get on to those rear fenders. I want to keep Victor on course, keep him rolling right through the car, and now it's on to the back end. The thing about these rear quarters is they got to match up with all the stuff that Jack's done, you know. He's customized this whole back end. You know, he did this cool roll pan, drapes under the fuel tank. He made these pods that housed custom handmade taillights. Our main issue is getting this fender drop to somehow flow in with the rest of this. Jack's already customized this car. You know, the rear taillights are his own design. He took this big slug of plastic and whittled it into a taillight. So he'd have to put some LEDs back here or whatnot, but you know, he was trying to be super smooth with the car. So you see when they go in, they just insert like a little puzzle piece. So you can see this line comes into the taillight and disappears. I really like these lights that Jack came up with because they are handcrafted. The only way I would improve it per se is to maybe come up with a little chrome bezel around it so it fits the chrome on the car and of course, some kind of good lighting system.
Ian, I like it. I like the lights. Hey, Jack did an incredible job, but it's not in my vision of what I see this car should be with the modifications we did on the side. To make it really easy for you, all you have to do is this. Number one, I want to tear the lights out, weld that all up, mimic this angle coming down, this tying into here, cut out the whole roll pan. I don't like it. The license plate's too big, out of proportion. All of the pan out, pa fuera.
I hate to use the term Jekyll and Hyde, but Victor does this switcheroo. What just happened? 10 minutes ago, you were a different man. What happened with the mood change? What happened to just bolt it together? I thought we were just gonna breeze through to a happy ending on this whole project, and I see Victor is on a mission yet again. What we just experienced a couple minutes ago was the calm before the storm. That was just a warm-up. I see what you're saying, just gotta change the whole rear end of the car.
Yes.
No problem. Victor wants to get rid of this whole pan. I can do that. It's a simple task. Victor came in kind of mild with this almost stock replacement part on the front end. And then when he gets to the rear end, it's gloves off. The thing is, nothing on the car has those embossed details like Jack's roll pan. Starting off fresh is definitely in the right direction. This is what we refer to as a clean slate. What we have with these rear quarter panels is just loose ends. You know, they're sheet metal flapping in the breeze. This lower quarter would be the bumper, and I want to reinforce it with something as strong as a bumper should be. The hardest part in this roll pan would be creating these little shapes. So instead of trying to fix them or recreate them, I'm just going to replace them. This is a pretty complex curve to create out of sheet metal, so I found these big, heavy stamped bumper parts. I don't know what they're from, but using them in this lower quarter will reinforce the sheet metal for sure. The idea is I have these two shapes that will not change on their own. So I can attach to it, I can hammer to it, just whatever it takes to form the sheet metal to this contour. These provide a good surface. You have to cut that, bend that, twist that, reface that, patch that. I gotta take this line, swing it. So we're gonna go right to this point here and cut that open. Clearance this out a little bit. Instead of creating like a wooden buck, hammer forming a bunch of stuff that's left and right parts, inside and out parts, taking these existing pieces, trimming them to fit, welding them in, it's just a faster process and super strong. I'm always trying to streamline issues, especially now that there's only 13 days to the car show. So you can see this, instead of having that weird draped bottom like it had, it comes right around. That's all good. And then the filler, just clean it up. Thing is, Victor and I, we got a little history behind us, and he's probably gonna change something. The whole concept with this roll pan is a rolling pan. That's what they do. It makes the car appear to curve under with the bodywork, and just gives like a more of a hovercraft feel. Aha. This blank roll pan affords the opportunity for change as you're building it. You know, a couple things I'm thinking about. He didn't like the license plate that was in the old one. I got a plan to make it more better. And flip it. I'm gonna surprise Victor with this French license plate. Hopefully he's got some taillights in mind, because I could use a little surprise for the better. So this blank slate roll pan is achieved, it's in place. I'm gonna wait till Victor gets here to surprise him with this French license plate install. I don't know what's coming next. Hopefully he's got some taillights and we can get this thing in gear.
Ian, how you doing, man?
I've been on Operation Blank Slate for the past 24 hours. I hope it's blank enough. I'm thinking about what you kept describing, you know, with all of your motions. And what I took from that was you wanted this angle to be mimicked here.
Yes.
And then same deal here.
And you did it, you did it. You could see it going almost like a V.
Yeah.
That's cool, and I like V. That letter sounds real familiar to me.
You know how I work, man. So last step for the rear fabrication is this French license plate frame. I mean, it's nothing to it, just a typical scenario. It's not gonna be this deep, that's why I wanted you here. I'm gonna cut that open. Let's set this where we need it. I didn't touch the lights because I want you to see everything kind of complete. Jack's custom tail lights, they're pretty darn cool, man. I don't know how you're feeling about it, but I wanted you to just take a moment to reflect after we get all the fabrication done, then make a decision. Even though I rebuilt the entire rear roll pan, this just gets us back to the starting point. Everything Victor wanted to accomplish has yet to be seen, so here we are back at square one. I think we could gauge this without the bumper. I mean, it is, after all, a license plate. It's gotta be front row center, basically. You can't mess around with this, so we'll make sure it's below the bumper, you know, somewhere in that neighborhood. We don't have the bumper, it's out at the chrome shop. And here I am building this roll pan and license plate issue without the dimensions of the bumper. I know he modified it, but I'm not sure how. Not a huge leap of faith, but it's definitely risky. All I have to say is clean, clean, clean. Instead of hanging the picture on the wall, you're putting the picture in a frame. It's perfect. What do you think? It's pretty groovy, huh?
You know what? I don't like it.
What? It's a square thing. How could you even possibly improve on that? Change it?
Yeah, let's cover it back up.
All right, good call.
No, just kidding.
I'll take all those pieces and just put them right back together.
No, look at the line. That's all that was missing. It's clean. It even enhances the roll pan as it goes underneath.
That's the weird thing about putting this flat surface. All of a sudden, this gives it a whole shape. You know, you see that kind of crescent shape, which is pretty neat.
All we need to do is just get a set of lights in there to fit in proportion with the car.
You mean license plate lights?
No, lights. I brought some lights in when I came in today.
It's not looking good for Jack's taillights. At this point, timing is critical. I'm doing the mind reader thing, trying to read Victor's mind, focus in on his thoughts, get these taillights nailed, because there's literally millions of taillights in the world. We only need 2, Victor.
Check these out.
Oh, for sure. Okay. Victor comes in with a pair of taillights. Everybody's seen them. They're the classic Cadillac taillights. You see them in a lot of street trucks where they're set up vertical. Cool factor is they have that production part chrome bezel around them, and that sells it.
I love the way this is Frenched in there. It's what, about 3/4 of an inch.
Let's just tape these chromes on there and just take a look. The placement of the taillights is critical in the attitude of the car. This is a lowrider, so my thought is low car, low taillights. That's the flip side of what Jack did, those little things on the tip of the fender. Taping these in place really helps you just get a feel, you know, it gives the car some weight. I like it. I know Victor's always looking for that custom look, so anytime I have an idea that'll take us down that path, I'm always ready to pitch it to Victor.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that. Look, that's badass.
That's hot.
what I envisioned. That's exactly what I envisioned.
Yes, custom lenses. I could just blow a lens just like I did on the Packard, and you know, the supercar I did the same thing with clear, but yeah, like you say, that dimension, so you'll have like this Frenched section with the plastic coming out.
That's it.
I was really cool with Jack's taillight design, and I pitched this idea of custom lenses to Victor, and right away, he's all about it.
This is it. I don't care what it takes. Nothing else matters to me. This
nothing.
is all that matters. Of the whole car,
Right.
Forget about.
That's space age. That's
This
real.
has to look
Yeah.
the way you got it curved here.
Yeah.
Has to come and curve there. This is it. I'm going home with this. I'm sleeping with this under my pillow.
I'm always trying to further the creativity in all of these projects, but sometimes if you choose to go further, it takes 10 times as much effort. You're not really afforded that in this time schedule.
That's like amazing. That's why I do this. For that one moment in my life that I see one thing that excites me.
There you go. I love this idea, but I think before we make the final call, whether we delete or recreate, let's get the bumper on, let's get this on the ground. We haven't seen it slammed yet with some of the bodywork and the lines presented. I know, Victor, this decision is not going to be easy. To get to the bottom of it, I know we got to keep moving forward.
I got a surprise here.
Yeah.
Danny with Big D Chrome got it done in 5 days. All the welding, all the repair. It was pretty amazing.
Totally nice, because Jack, you know, he narrowed this, he spliced it, you could see all the work inside, and they made it look seamless. I've been waiting for this because we can't do anything more, and unless they tweaked it out and changed the shape, it should just pop right on like it's supposed to.
That looks good, that's clean.
Oh yeah, look at that, how tight it is. It makes Jack's taillights look like it's in a perfect little frame, man. That's nice. Even though I pitched Victor this idea of making new taillights, I'm still in it for Jack. I still want these taillights to happen. Look how good it makes Jack's taillights look.
Uh-oh.
It's nice. I think we gotta just bolt it on and drop the car, and then you'll decide that Jack's taillights are awesome.
Let's see what the car says, Ian.
Passing the buck, huh? Putting the bumper on and dropping the car, that's the stance. Victor and I always do this thing where, you know, first impressions, you know, how does it feel? What's it look like?
Nice and low, sleek, classy.
Totally makes a difference on the ground. You know, I'm glad these fenders took the shape they did. It's a total game changer.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah. Gotta have these parts in place and have the ride height set to make a decision. Your whole career has been leading up to this point. It's time for you to say, no more changes.
Let me just see the other taillights on the back before I could make a decision on if we're gonna take Jack's off or not.
This type of conundrum, if you will, could really turn this thing into a three-ring circus. It's the only bummer, you know, we're putting a curved bezel on a flat surface. And they're not like the Rivi lights where they're symmetrical, there's a small side. The chrome on this is definitely a better deal than no chrome on Jack's taillights, that's for sure. The whole thing is custom is custom. When you look at these lights and they have that pattern and the little Cadillac symbol, okay, well, all he did was swap the taillights. So this is left over from the Packard.
Yeah, no, and I love that color.
It's really good. That's the scary part about acrylic, though. It's not very forgiving. I don't know, Jack. Looks like you might be getting taken out. That is classy.
Let's see it without the chrome frame.
Oh, wow. He's stumped.
Let me do something real quick. Sorry, Jack. It's like a 50-50 call. I mean, literally. It doesn't look too bad, but then with them off, I don't know about the proportion of that lens on the bottom. I need another dimension. It looked just too flat. And now Jack's lights, I'm so conditioning to seeing it on there. It's kind of like I'm getting used to it. It looks okay, but it has to look great. Like,
yes,
wow. I mean, when I'm turning this way and I look, it's like, wow, what did he do?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Jack, you're back on here. Jack's back in business.
Pulling out all my tricks to help Victor make this decision. You know, okay, you got the bumper ons, put the license plate in place, you know, just flesh out the car, and maybe that'll help the taillight choice go a little smoother. I don't know what your registration is, but I know you like potatoes, so I know you're a fan of them Idaho spuds, so I just picked that off the wall. It's got a good look. Drum roll, please.
I just don't want to take away from the bumper. Remember, who made that bumper?
Yeah.
Jack did, right? So I'm not taking all this stuff from Jack. Jack customized that bumper. I went and had it chrome, so Jack's bumper's still on there. No,
you're trying to sell me on deleting Jack's taillights, man. You used his name 3 times in a row. That's the sign of a guilty party. Mm-hmm.
Keep your cool.
Goes with the tape. Up, one gone, one down. We've been in this predicament before, you know, we always have to make decisions. The bottom line is this has to happen, and I know what I like. Jack's taillights, they work fine for me.
After evaluating all the things we just went through in the last half hour, I know I confused the heck out of you. I was probably more confused.
Well, it's a
but
tough call.
at the end here, by covering Jack's lights, I'm committed to this. I mean, that's a word I rarely use.
Only once in every project, unfortunately. The decision has been made to delete Jack's lights. Victor likes the contour of the hard metal corner on the top of the fender. So just like that, the choice is made. We're getting rid of something, but we don't know where we're going with adding the other. The tail of the taillights. Feeling good that we've made a decision, but I'm gonna make a few different options regarding the new taillights because I know Victor likes choices to make decisions, so I'm just gonna present a fresh new palette of ideas. Rivy in the front, Hardy in the back. Jack's taillights are deleted, the car's in primer. I'm doing some finalizing of the contours regarding the rear quarter panels. So far, so good. I like what I see. I brought Victor out to this car show to get some ideas flowing for the paint. This car show is a benefit for the Paul Walker Foundation. He was a big star in that Fast and Furious movies. This foundation is run by Paul Walker's family. This is the inaugural car show. It's the first one, and the thing is popping off. The line is around the block. It's happening. Crazy thing about that movie franchise is it's got the young people in a furious fury about modified cars. The younger, newer generation got a different style, but it's all the same thing, modifying cars. Just thinking, you know, we got color samples. With like, what were you thinking about for the Rivy?
Yeah, they got a little bit of everything here.
Victor hasn't told me anything about what he's trying to do with paint.
I'm not sure, you know me, I won't know until I get the paint, right?
With the new school look, you have a lot of wraps, a lot of graphics, a lot of strange metallic features. This event has every genre. Look what he did with the bed. It's all laminated
That's
wood.
amazing.
I talked about how he built that.
That's woodwork in its finest.
Really nice, yeah.
That's a pretty interesting color.
As subtle as this
solid,
is, yeah.
subtle. I mean, has a little bit of flake in it, but yeah, that's pretty
I love
cool.
your show.
Thanks.
Most innovative dude I've ever like. You can turn.
like it?
You're like MacGyver with cars.
Victor's gone pretty crazy with his paint jobs in the past, you know, wild wraps, airbrushing, graphics.
That's a good choice of just taking it to one color, and all the fab will talk for itself.
Yeah. To hear him talking about this truck and its subtle paint job and his approval of it is a step in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. Oh, look at the Bonneville, dude. See that color again.
That's got to be about a 65.
Again, another one of those cars where all they did was drop it a bit. It's freaking tight.
And all I had to do is buy a
Bonneville.
Bonneville.
Bought the
There
wrong
we
car.
go again. We're modifying cars that already exist. Story of our
Look
lives.
at that bumper. It's freaking epic.
But that's weird. The color's
This
not
color's
bad, huh?
nice, yeah. This can simply be chalked up to, you know, walking through an art gallery, discussing flavors you like. Again, let's never forget our humble beginnings. A car like this, you don't even need to paint it. You lower it, you're a rock star.
Man, you love them VWs, man.
Volkswagens are cars too. You know, just because we're at this supercar show, you can always tell the old standard is always nearby. And there it is, stock Riviera. So this is a 64 probably, but
Yeah,
basically
that's
the
a
same
64.
car.
Look at, there you are in the front seat.
Yeah, that does look a lot like me. Victor's telling me I look like a Muppet. I don't play the drums. I don't even have hair. What? I don't get it. We got a 65, but we don't have all the chrome and everything. We did like a whole thing to it. So it's good to see a stock one. The Rivy we're looking at is bone stock. We laid this thing out. We dropped everything. Typical 60s fashion, this car was pretty tall on skinny tires, and we got it down low. It's quite a dramatic change.
There you go. That's a pretty cool color.
Yeah,
just a
that's nice
silver.
too, right?
In between the silver and the blue. Now if I could just get that mixture, that's interesting how they both came together.
Yeah.
So I think that just made me decide silver is blue.
Silver's blue. we're walking along and I can see Victor's eyes glimmering. He's like, oh, these are my favorite cars in the whole show.
Look at that. Look at the art. Look at the way that sits on the ground. Look at the one next door. That's like pure art, baby.
He's got a special area with all the toys lined up, from the lead sled to the supercar and everything in between. It's a really good looking ride. You drove it out here, everything's cool?
I drove it out here. Thing ran perfect.
Victor's never finished with his projects, so he's always changing stuff. He's got this custom retractable license plate he's had me fabricate. Yeah, it's kind of James Bondish, you know.
And look at the color, subtle, the lines flow on the ground. What more do you want in life?
I came in the shop this morning and there were a few surprises. The car is painted and it's subtle. It's a very mature call. It's a good looking vehicle.
I'm building a lowrider car. I'm just keeping it to the conservative point. If you ask people that know me, they know I'm really conservative.
Yeah, I saw the bubble car.
Yeah.
This guy is super talented. I've known his work for years. He's done a lot of stuff for Victor. He's done a lot of cool stuff on Victor's other cars, the Zephyr, the Merc. Dude's first rate.
When we stripe this up, you just want all these just to come to a straight, just point right there and stop, right?
Correct, that's
Okay.
it.
Once we do that, it'll be nice. It's gonna break it up top to bottom, and you have a little more to look at, a little more bling.
Can you be done in an hour?
Give me 30 minutes, we'll be out of here.
24 hours from now, we will be on the freeway, going to the show. The paint and graphics is in session. I'm gonna be outside and doing my thing with the taillights. Typical Cacho form, we painted the car with no taillights. This process is like Old Faithful to me. You know, you set up the grill, you get the plastic to the appropriate temperature, you have all the fittings with the wooden clamp forms, and then you inflate it with pressurized air at the right moment, and voila, you have a taillight. Ha-ha! Winner! Every time I do something new, you know, there's a learning curve. That's the problem we've been facing. Specifically regarding the thickness of the plastic, the material your backboard is made of, the alignment of the planets, as Victor's put it. We keep getting these ruptures. It's science. It's like clockwork. With this material thickness and the parameters we're working with, it's just not happening. You know, life is a learning library, so the first options didn't really pan out the way I was hoping. I have enough material for one more shot, so I'm gonna make up a whole new jig, try it once more, having learned this much in the prior attempts. While I get that ready, it looks like Victor decided to go with a silver leaf and pinstriping idea down the whole side of the car. This process is pretty cool. They tape out a bunch of lines and they end up with a negative reveal, a masked shape of what their graphic's gonna be. The surface is cleaned and they put on this glue. The glue material dries, and then applied to that is this super thin silver foil. It's almost like a paper dust. It's really fragile. So this is applied, dried, and then this turned finish is put on it. He's using a cordless drill, which I've seen him do it by hand, but the cordless drill is really fast.
Putting a little spin in the silver leaf, which gives it a nice little effect. Just gotta take your time with it.
He's got it nailed. I mean, to see him come in with that drill and just pew, 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 just shoot down the line, that's pretty trick. If all this isn't enough, Victor's got his window tinting guy working on top of everyone, getting the windows dialed in. Shop is hopping, the car is really progressing.
Yo, what's going on? Hamburger, it's about time. I'm starving.
No, we learned you can't have any grease. I cleaned this whole thing down and I got your tail light in the oven. The issue is with the 1/4-inch acrylic, it only stretches percentage-wise so much, so I was asking it to like triple its size.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it won't do it.
Now I made an 1.5 inch band by 18, so it should puff. I just want it to go out 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, this is it. I'm good luck, you know that. What? This was gonna come out perfect.
There it is. Well, let's take it inside and see what it looks like. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's not uncommon to be thrashing on your car right up to the minute the show opens. But I don't know if anyone doesn't even have taillights on their vehicle yet, let alone trying to blow custom lenses while the car is in final paint and polish. Finally, we get one that works. You know, this is the learning curve. So if we had to make 1,000 of these, try number 4 is pretty good proportionally. So it's close. We definitely got something to work with.
My problem is I've seen too many options on the car. Now I'm not confused, but I'm not sure what I want to do. I don't want to say I told you so, but why didn't you leave Jack's freaking lights alone? It would have been done.
I just couldn't stand looking at it, man, you know? Victor's option is these existing lenses from Moon Eyes. It's almost the same thing that we're doing, just a different shape. He's talking about trimming them down, you know, customizing something that's already there. And, you know, we got a bunch of options on the table. All we're missing is a decision. The last 24 hours of every car build is all in the details. You know, that's what brings it all together. So it's a thrash, but every little thing is being attended to. I really like this car. I mean, it's classy. It could have gone any different way, but right now, it's presenting itself really clean. This Lowrider project's got everybody amped up, you know, even the shop inspector is getting in the mode. He's ready to cruise.
How you doing, man?
What's up, Victor? What do you think?
Right away, Victor comes in and he's loving the graphics. The silver leaf, the paint details, the pinstriping.
It almost gives it like a third dimension. That's like crazy.
Right on, man.
Really, really clean. Good job.
It's definitely nice stuff.
That's interesting how this turns into that, but that's the art form. Yeah, that's cool.
We've literally hours to go until we're on the road to get out of here. You know, Victor comes in with just one more enhancement, one final detail. He's got these chrome lake pipes, you know, side pipes. Yeah, the paint's sort of still wet and we're welding alongside it and, you know, just what I gotta do. What these are gonna add to the final appearance of the car is just like with the low custom bumper, you know, the chrome, your eyes go to it and everything's down. Slightly unorthodox, you know, usually you don't go cutting holes in cars that have been painted, and I look back and Victor has even more taillight options.
And then just cut this little hole out and these two things just go right there.
We know the lake pipes are a good call, risking cutting through the paint. The taillights, there's no turning back. Wrong call on that, and the car won't show. I say you run it without any lights. It's a show car.
And instead of just putting something Mickey Mouse, because the whole car came together the way I pictured it. So we'll just go to the show. So I'll put you in the back with a flashlight, no big deal. And then we'll see what happens from there. We'll come back, take our time, and figure out what we're gonna do.
I like that idea. I'm just gonna sit in the trunk. We'll just leave it open. 2 frosty adult beverages, and I'll just have this, each time I feel the car slow down, I'll just send out a light. The bottom line of this debate is that the more we look at the rear of the car, the more we agree that it just has a great look as is. To put in taillights that don't complement it at this point doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, the whole front end is muted. You don't even know that there's headlights in there. So, I mean, if we want to talk aesthetics, that blank look, you know, this is freaking classy. It's like a sculpture. But right now, forget it, man. Just take it to the show.
I agree with you. After the show, we'll come back and figure out what we could do to keep this look without seeing the taillights.
What we have finally arrived at is whatever the finished look of these taillights are, they're not going to affect the rear view of the car as it is. You know, maybe the taillights don't even show while the car's parked, you know, like the retractable license plate in the supercar. You know, maybe there's something in the rear window. The look of the rear of the car as is will be retained. I'm just excited to finalize this project for now, get to the show, enjoy a weekend out, and, you know, discuss the project with the people. We made it to Santa Maria. Really, we made it to Santa Maria. Cruising Nationals is a 3-day event. This weekend is pretty special. Not only were we preparing to build the car to debut at this show, I got a call from the historian, the Hall of Fame manager for the West Coast Customs, and they want to induct me into the Hall of Fame at the show as well. True story. They held a private event for the awards, but the big payoff for me was sitting in the lineup, signing autographs with all the legends.
The Hall of Fame is actually carrying on a tradition that me and Barris and maybe Ed Roth and a few of the early customizers, we started this whole thing, you know, clear back in the late 40s and 50s, and now the new guys are carrying it on. And then Ian Roussel, it's really wonderful to see him come along, and I know he's doing a fabulous job, and he's doing some really nice, creative, custom work.
It's all the guys I worshipped growing up. It's all the people that led to me making this career decision to do what I do. Crazy. I mean, I literally grew up reading about this guy, yes. And now I'm in the club. Hey, how's it going? It's like not even me, you know. If you know me, I'm a quiet, geeky guy in the garage. I'm not a celebrity.
Hi, Ian. I don't want anybody else's money. Just yours.
What? We're just waiting for the security to escort us out of here.
Yeah.
I feel like we got away with something. If you know this car show, you know it's been around for a long, long time. The people who come here come to play, they come to party, they come to show off their stuff, and everybody is represented full force. Cruise Night is specifically set up for people to see the vehicles in motion, so it's like a parade. Everybody's lining the sidewalks, streets are closed only for the show cars. This is the craft taken to its highest level. West Coast Customs with a K. The lowriders, the tail dragger scene, the bombs, anything low and slow is represented in force. This is all about the classics. The whole thing is a cruise night, it's just a warm-up. That's kind of like everybody landing, a meet and greet, have a few conversations for the big show on Saturday. But I'm really looking forward to getting to the show in the morning and seeing the Rivi. First thing in the morning, cars are mobbing the scene, looking for the primo parking spot. Last night was the cruise, today's the show. Everybody's planted, barbecues, conversation, good times. There are awesome cars all over the place, and right in the middle of them all is the Riviera. Victor is that worker guy. He's still in minor adjustment mode. He's trying to shake down a set of taillights. He's got a pinstriper on hire. He's still building the car at the show.
I hope you brought your little jigsaw, because I'm looking around for the lights. My goal is, hey, I'm still striping. Right. You might cut a hole in, so we finish this thing in Santa Maria, lights and all.
One of the stranger things that's going on is Victor's telling me, keep your eyes open, we're still on the hunt. You know, that's the mode. I'm like, I thought we were celebrating our victory.
You are a hero of mine.
Thanks, man.
Like, I watch all your episodes over and over.
Very nice.
Yeah, sharp.
The whole crew's here representing, and my friend Tom with his hot rod pickup.
Yeah, I'm here to support Ian. He's been inducted into the West Coast Customs Hall of Fame, which is a huge deal, man. It's amazing. It's such an honor. And so I came out to show him some support and be there for my boy. The Riviera, man, I love it. And the stuff that he's done to it, it's like, it's so subtle, but trick at the same time. And unless you know what a stock one looks like, you might think that it's pretty much factory.
The response has been overwhelmingly supportive. I was expecting, you know, rotten tomatoes, some heckling. You like the taillights?
Beautiful. Where are they?
We're almost done. Nobody knows but us.
This whole lowrider adventure has been super cool. I've always wanted to do something like this. You know, this is a huge LA flavor. From the Van Nuys Boulevard cruise night to this event, you could see that style is represent.
I'm ecstatic. The car came out like beyond my expectations.
Our mode is reflected by a lot of the people here. You know, ideas are always changing. You could see a car that was here last year and it'll be a different color, different set of rims, change this and that. And you know, Victor and I are the same thing. What's not to like about any of these? This is a Cole Foster car right here.
Everything, they're all incredible. I mean, everyone has their own flavor, their own meaning.
Our current issue is this lack of taillights. There's a billion ideas out there, so this is a perfect location to kind of do some scouting. We got a Buick Riviera. We just finished, 65. Victor can't make his mind up. So we finished the car and it's got no taillights.
You know, I did that one for Bones, you know, years ago, that 63 Buick Riviera.
63, huh?
And, you know, I painted that car 5 times for 3 different owners.
I know Victor, and I know how things develop, and he will not stop until he's satisfied. So, in his own words, whatever it takes. As far as what comes next, we got a million ideas. Once again, it's time to step up the game and march forward fearlessly into the new horizon.
I just went shopping again. The last final piece besides the light.
Oh,
There it is, my speaker
Oh,
lens.
no doubt. That's what this car needs for sure. Yeah, they go on the rear deck where the speakers
On the
go.
rear deck, go ahead and put it in
Broadcast
play.
the tunes forward.
Yeah, they go out this way too.
Totally cool. So those go there in typical lowrider fashion.
That's it, it completes my goal.
I wanted to get a picture with you and Ian.
All right, cool.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, always.
Hey, can we get those 2 guys on here too?
They want the whole full
want
custom
everybody.
team here. Cheeseburger.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy.
Oh,
Does it for the fans?
yeah. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome, man.
All right.
Respect.
Hey, it was good talking
Good talking to you too, yeah. I'll like get together with you guys someday. if I
Yeah,
could.
no, we're all in.
Yeah.
I'm happy to show you
I
our
wanna
toys
see
in the
I wanna
garage.
Check them all
Yeah.
out, man.
Got some
I
stuff.
got a little museum. I got Gumby, Pokey, all them stupid little things.